When I woke up that morning, nothing felt unusual. Gray sky, empty fridge, silence in the apartment. But by 7 p.m., someone would be dead. I had lost my job months earlier. Debt wasn't numbers anymore. It was pressure in my lungs. Our landlord had taped a final notice to the door. $800 by tonight or get out. Not just me and Carly. Carly was 7 months pregnant. We had sold everything, the TV, my tools, her old jewelry. We were living on vending machine snacks and water from the tap. Around 3 p.m., my phone rang. Carly. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Mark says he's coming at 7. If we don't have the money, he's kicking us out. Please come home. I told her I was working on something. I wasn't. I walked the city for hours looking for day labor, cash jobs, anything. Nothing. By 5:45 p.m., I was sitting on the filthy floor of a fast food bathroom, staring at a broken bottle in the trash. For a moment, I thought about ending everything. Not because I wanted to die, because I thought maybe Carly would be better off without me. That's when I remembered something I hadn't touched in years. The dark web. Tor was still installed on my phone from high school curiosity. I opened it, scrolled. Scams, fake IDs, drugs. Then I saw it. Need a hitman? Fast, discreet. Job starting at $50. It sounded ridiculous, but desperation makes ridiculous ideas feel rational. I clicked. A simple form loaded. Target name, address, time frame. My thinking was twisted, broken. If I was gone, Carly could move in with her sister. She wouldn't have to be homeless. She wouldn't have to watch me fail. In that warped logic, I convinced myself this was protection. My hand shook as I typed our address. I paid. A message appeared. Contractor will call momentarily. Once confirmed, there is no cancellation. My phone rang from a blocked number. A calm male voice. The job will be completed within 30 minutes. Is the target alone? My throat felt like sandpaper. Yes. Once we hang up, there is no further contact. Is this final? A long silence. Yes, final. The line went dead. 6:35 p.m. The reality hit me so hard I nearly vomited. I grabbed a shard of glass from the bathroom floor. If I ended it first, my phone rang again. My bank. Mr. Wilson, congratulations. You've won our monthly drawing. $1,000 will be deposited into your account shortly. I froze. Then I felt it. Hope. Then horror. Because I had just ordered a murder, and now I didn't need to. I ran, through traffic, through red lights. I twisted my ankle but didn't stop. Then I heard it. A gunshot. A woman screaming. 7 p.m. A hooded man sprinted from my porch into a waiting truck. I collapsed on the sidewalk. It was done. Then I heard a familiar voice. Babe, why are you on the ground? Carly. Alive. I stared at her. You're okay? She nodded, shaking. Mark came early. He was yelling. The doorbell rang. He thought it was you. He opened the door. Her voice broke. They shot him. Our landlord. Dead. Because I gave the address. Police came. Questions were asked. I said nothing about the contract. That night, we paid the rent with the bank money. Life moved on. That's the scariest part. It just kept going. We found steady work. We saved. We bought a small house. Our daughter Eva was born healthy and loud and perfect. Carly believes that day was a tragic robbery, an accident. She sometimes says, if Mark hadn't opened the door, who knows what would have happened to us? I nod, and I carry it.
Every time I see my daughter laugh, I feel it. For one terrible hour, I chose the easy way out, and someone else paid the price. The worst part? There's no undo button, only silence, and the memory of a phone call that said, "No going back."
We always joked that red rooms were just internet myths, urban legends made to scare curious teenagers, until the night we realized we weren't watching the show, we were next. It started like any normal Saturday. Leon texted me and Hector around 8 p.m. "Get over here, I found something insane." That was typical Leon. He was the one who always dug deeper online, always chasing darker corners of the internet just to prove he could. His parents were the cool, artsy type, painters, musicians, the kind of adults who let us hang out in his room for hours as long as we didn't break anything. When we arrived, his mom waved from the kitchen. "Pizza's in the oven. Help yourselves, boys." Normal, comforting, safe. We went upstairs to Leon's room. Posters on the walls, LED lights glowing blue. 3 chairs pulled up to his desk like he'd prepared something ceremonial. He locked the door, grinning. "You guys ready?" Hector rolled his eyes. "If this is another scam site." "It's not," Leon interrupted. "I swear." He opened Tor, pasted a long, ugly URL. The page loaded slowly. Black background, a single video window. Live. At first, I thought it was fake. A masked man dressed head to toe in black stood behind a middle-aged woman tied to a chair. Her face was swollen. Her wrists were bleeding. The lighting was red. Not dramatic red. Industrial red. Like a dark room. The chat scrolled beside the video. Casual. Laughing. Betting. As if they were watching a football game. The masked man picked up a thick wire. Wrapped it slowly around the woman's neck. I looked away. "This isn't real," Hector whispered. Leon didn't answer. Then the masked man leaned close to the camera, and that's when the chat message appeared. "Having fun, boys? Want more pizza?" My stomach dropped. It could have been coincidence. Saturday night, pizza, teenagers. Leon typed back before we could stop him. "We're good, thanks." Hector snapped at him. "Why would you answer?" Leon smiled. "Relax, my parents made pizza. They're busy downstairs." The masked man chuckled, a low, distorted sound. Then he said something that made the room tilt. "Excellent. Fresh volunteers." Hector bolted for the door. He opened it, and the man from the stream was standing in the hallway. Same black coat, same mask, same boots. Up close, real. Behind him, Leon's parents stood quietly, smiling. "Excellent. New volunteers," the man repeated. I tried to run. A sweet chemical smell filled my lungs. Everything went black. I woke up under red lights. My arms were taped to a chair, my mouth sealed shut. Hector was beside me, sobbing through duct tape. Across the room, the woman from the stream, or what was left of her. The camera stood on a tripod, recording. The masked man approached me slowly. He dragged the flat edge of a knife across my throat, not cutting, just enough to pressure to let me feel how easily he could. Hector was shaking violently. The man tilted his head. "Chat wants a vote." I heard faint mechanical clicking, typing. Even here, even now, people were watching. A cloth pressed over my face again, that same sweet smell. Darkness. When I woke up the second time, I was lying on a sidewalk a few houses from my own, dizzy, bleeding, my neck burned. My mom screamed when she saw the cut. Police came. They searched Leon's house. It was empty. No parents, no Leon, no basement, no red room. The house was listed for sale, had been vacant for weeks. Leon had transferred schools months ago. We found out later something worse. The recording of that night surfaced. The audience had voted. Kill one, spare one for later. They spared me.
Someone in the chat suggested a game. Let him live a few years. Hunt him again when he thinks he's safe. That comment had hundreds of likes. I dropped out of school, moved away with my parents. I almost never go online. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night feeling heat on my face, like a red light glowing just inches away, and I wonder, did they really let me go? Or am I just part of the next season?
I thought live streaming was harmless until the screen started showing things I never filmed, things that were inside my own apartment. It started as a fun experiment. I had a small following online, and the idea of doing a late-night live stream in my apartment seemed harmless. I was alone, bored, and craving attention, or maybe validation. I set up my camera, adjusted the lighting, and smiled at the screen. "Hey guys, just another late-night stream," I said. The first few minutes were normal. Chat was buzzing with random comments, people asking silly questions, and me laughing along. But then something strange happened. My camera feed glitched just for a split second, and when it came back, I saw it. A figure was standing behind me, not in my apartment, not in reality, on the live stream. I spun around. Nothing. My room was empty. Heart pounding, I laughed nervously. Okay, that was just a glitch, guys. Nothing to see here. But the glitches kept happening. The figure grew clearer, always lurking in corners, standing just out of my line of sight. The chat started noticing it too. Comments popped up. "Behind you, behind you." Panic set in, but I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a filter bug, some glitch in the software. Then it started moving. Not fast, but deliberately. Each time I glanced at the screen, the figure had shifted. Once it was leaning over my desk. Another time it appeared near the door. I stopped looking behind me, but the live stream, it never lied. I wasn't alone. Not really. Something or someone was in my apartment, watching me. Every time I tried to leave the room, the figure seemed to vanish on the feed, only to reappear behind me when I returned. My phone buzzed. Chat messages were now coming in from accounts that didn't exist, all saying the same thing. "You can't hide. We see you." By 3 a.m., I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't pause or turn off. My own reflection on the screen seemed warped, twisted, and when I blinked, it wasn't me staring back. It was the figure, smiling. And then I heard it, a faint whisper, almost inaudible, but chilling right behind my ear. "You invited us in." I bolted out of my apartment, leaving the camera rolling. The live stream stayed online. The comments kept coming, but nobody could explain the last frame. Me, running, but in the reflection of the camera lens behind me, a shadow was running too, and it was keeping pace. Even now, I haven't returned to that apartment, and sometimes when I check old streams, the figure is still there, waiting, patient, as if it's ready for me to log in again.
I thought it was just an online game, until the choices I made started controlling my real life. It started innocently. I was browsing a forum late at night when I stumbled across a game called the Night Watcher Choice Game. The premise seemed simple. Make choices, survive the night, earn points. No one really knew who created it, and the download link appeared only in private messages. Curious and a little bored, I clicked. The game opened in a black screen with a single prompt. "You are awake. The Watcher is near. Choose wisely." I laughed. It felt like a horror story come to life on my laptop. I typed my name and clicked Start. The first choices were harmless. Do you hide under the bed or in the closet? I picked the bed. A text appeared instantly. Good. The Watcher is observing. I shivered, but continued. Then things started getting weird. The game began to describe my apartment, my furniture, even my habits. You leave the door unlocked. The Watcher notices. My heart skipped. I had never entered any of this into the game. Suddenly my phone buzzed, a notification from an unknown number. "Step away from your bed. He is watching." I froze. I was alone, or so I thought. The choices on the game screen began to appear in real life. The closet door creaked. Shadows moved. Every option I clicked on the screen seemed to trigger an event in my apartment. The night stretched on, and the game's choices became darker. Do you call for help or hide silently? I hesitated and hid. My living room lights flickered. A faint whisper echoed. "The watcher sees all." Panic surged. By the early hours, I realized something horrifying. I wasn't just playing a game. The watcher was real. Every choice mattered. One wrong move could... I didn't want to know. I stayed crouched in the dark, my laptop glowing like a tiny beacon, the game asking me questions that mirrored my deepest fears. Finally, the screen flashed. "You survived the night, for now." Relief washed over me, but when I looked around, the shadows had shifted. My apartment felt different. The corners darker, the silence heavier, and in the reflection of my screen, I thought I saw a figure, a tall, faceless watcher, standing in the doorway, waiting for the next night, for the next game. Since then, I avoid my laptop after dark, but sometimes, in the quiet, I hear faint typing, as if someone or something is still playing the Night Watcher's game. I thought I was alone in my apartment, until I found out I was never really alone. It all started with a strange feeling. I couldn't shake the sensation that someone was watching me. At first, I blamed stress, exhaustion, or just my imagination running wild. But small things kept happening, things that didn't make sense. I would hear faint clicks in my living room when I was in the bathroom. Doors that I was sure I had locked seemed slightly ajar. And then I received the first message. No number, no name, just a short line. "We see everything." Panic gripped me. I checked my apartment for any signs of forced entry, but nothing was out of place. Then the messages escalated. Photos, videos, footage of me inside my own home. Moments I thought were private, caught on hidden cameras. I didn't even know where to look. The blackmailer demanded something impossible. Money, favors, anything. And each refusal came with a new, more invasive video. My apartment, my life, my privacy, it felt completely gone. I was trapped in my own home, every room potentially rigged. I decided to fight back. I bought camera detectors, checked every nook and cranny, replaced locks, and even stayed awake at night, waiting. But the blackmailer always seemed one step ahead. They knew when I slept, when I left, when I called for help. One night, I found a camera tucked inside a smoke detector in my bedroom. My blood ran cold, but the device was off. That was the first time I realized something worse than the cameras themselves. The person watching me wasn't just observing, they were learning, waiting, planning. The messages eventually stopped. The videos stopped appearing, but the paranoia didn't. I still feel it now. Eyes on me, shadows moving when I'm alone. And sometimes, just as I lie down to sleep, my phone buzzes with a new message. "We haven't forgotten you." Since then, I've changed everything. My routines, my apartment, my life. But deep down, I know it's only a matter of time. The watcher isn't gone, and I might never truly be safe again.
Some secrets are worth paying for, and some are worth dying for. Lucas was always the quiet one in class. Nobody suspected him of anything unusual. But behind the calm, polite exterior, he had a talent no one knew about. A talent for hacking, for slipping past firewalls, and for manipulating systems without leaving a trace. It started small. A grade here, a missed assignment there, things that seemed harmless at first. But soon, Lucas discovered a hidden world, an underground network where students, professors, and even administrators could be accessed for the right price. This wasn't just about grades anymore. It was about power. One day, Lucas received a message on an encrypted forum. "We need someone who can get access to the research database. Are you in?" The pay was beyond anything he had ever imagined. Curiosity mixed with ambition, and before he knew it, he was deep in a world he couldn't easily escape. He broke into systems with surgical precision, avoiding detection at every step. Every successful hack brought more requests, more money, and more danger. But Lucas didn't care until he noticed someone was watching him. Not the university's IT department, not a student, someone else. Someone who knew him, his habits, even his private life. The messages started appearing on his phone, cryptic but menacing. "You're getting too confident. Remember, I know everything." Lucas panicked but didn't stop. He had to finish the biggest hack yet, a confidential project that could make him rich or ruin him. The night he executed it, something went horribly wrong. Alarms he didn't know existed triggered, and a live feed appeared on his screen. Him sitting at his desk and someone standing right behind him in his apartment. His heart froze. The shadow moved closer, then disappeared. Lucas shut down his computer thinking it was over, but the next day, the emails came. "Nice try, Lucas. You can run, but you can't hide." Every attempt to cover his tracks failed. Every firewall he built, every server he wiped, seemed to be anticipated. He realized that whoever was after him wasn't just an individual. They were a system, a network that was bigger, smarter, and deadlier than he could imagine. Lucas went into hiding, changing locations, identities, even faces in the digital world. But one mistake, a single message sent from an unsecured device, was all it took. The access broker had found him. And in the end, Lucas understood a terrifying truth. In the underground world of hacking, there are no winners, only survivors and ghosts.
Not every delivery is meant to be received, and some packages should never arrive. It started as a normal night shift. Mia had been working the gated delivery route for weeks, controlling the drones that delivered packages to the exclusive residences on the outskirts of the city. The job was quiet, monotonous, and mostly boring, until she noticed something strange on the map. A small icon blinked in a section of the neighborhood she had never delivered to before. The address wasn't registered, and there was no recipient listed. Curiosity gnawed at her, but her instructions were clear: deliver every package, no questions asked. She launched the drone and watched it glide silently over the dark streets, its camera streaming back live footage to her console. The route seemed normal at first, until the drone paused mid-flight, hovering over a house surrounded by unusually high fences, cameras, and security sensors that weren't marked on the map. Then she saw it, a figure standing at the window, motionless, staring directly at the drone. Her pulse quickened. The figure raised a hand, commanding the drone as if it responding, then continued on its path. Mia shook it off as a glitch. But when the drone returned with the package, she noticed something chilling. The box wasn't sealed as it should be. Inside, she found a recorder, playing a distorted voice. "We know you're watching. You don't belong here.
Stop, or you will join them." Her heart raced. "Them," she whispered to herself. The rest of the deliveries that night became a nightmare. Each stop had something wrong: a shadow in the windows, a strange sound, a package that seemed to shift weight on its own. One drone almost crashed after a mysterious force seemed to push it off course. By dawn, Mia realized the truth. The gated route wasn't delivering packages, it was delivering messages. And the neighborhood wasn't just rich and exclusive, it was controlled by something that no drone, no human could fully comprehend. Mia tried to report the incidents, but every call was intercepted, every email returned with a single, ominous line: "The route knows, you know too much." From that day on, she never looked at a drone the same way. Every shadow became a watcher, every delivery a potential threat, and deep down, she feared that one day the route would deliver something meant for her.
Sometimes the people you trust most are the ones planning to take the pieces of you that matter most. Literally. Jake had been traveling for weeks, hopping between cities for work, always staying in cheap hostels to save money. On a rainy night, he checked into a seemingly normal hostel at the edge of the city. The receptionist was overly polite, the room spotless, and the price suspiciously low. He shrugged it off. He needed rest. That night he noticed something odd. The door lock made a strange clicking sound even when it was closed, and a faint humming came from the walls. Trying to ignore it, he fell asleep, but woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. He peeked out and saw a figure dragging something across the floor. Heart pounding, he tiptoed to the door, only to find it locked from the outside. Panic set in. Suddenly, the lights flickered, revealing a hidden camera pointed directly at his bed. The figure from the hallway returned, followed by two more, all wearing masks. Jake realized in horror, this wasn't a normal hostel. It was a trap. He tried to break the door, shout for help, anything, but the masked figures moved with chilling efficiency, securing him before he could escape. As they dragged him down the hall, they explained in calm, clinical tones how the hostel catered to special clients and that he had been selected for a procedure. Jake understood immediately. Organ trafficking. The rumors he had dismissed as urban legends were horrifyingly real. Thinking quickly, he started bargaining, feigning illness and weakness, pretending he had a contagious condition. The traffickers paused, debating, and that brief hesitation was all he needed. He broke free from their hold, smashing a fire extinguisher on the nearest one and sprinting toward the exit. The doors were electronic, but luck, or perhaps fate, was on his side. He forced them open, bursting into the empty street, drenched in rain and terror. Sirens in the distance gave him hope, and he ran without looking back. Jake never returned to hostels. He moved cities, changed routines, and kept every door locked behind him. But he knew the truth. Somewhere out there, the trap still waited, silently for the next unsuspecting traveler. If you thought Jake's story was terrifying, remember there are countless dangers lurking in the shadows, waiting for the unsuspecting. Don't miss a single horror story. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to join us every week for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your dreams. Support the channel, stay alert, and remember, sometimes what you see is only the beginning.